Hey there, everybody. Wow, that weekend sure went fast. I can't believe it's Tuesday already. Goodness gracious. But it's so good to be here, and it's so good to be here with you guys. So, gosh, I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. We had a pretty relaxing weekend, I think. At least I did. I took a whole day off. So that was pretty cool. I actually took the whole day off and I just relaxed and I watched some television. I'm actually watching, I don't know if any of you have seen this or not, but I am totally and completely 100% hooked on Madam Secretary. I think it's taken me, all of maybe 3 weeks. I'm in the middle of season 3 already. And I'm getting concerned because I'm halfway through and I'm really, really worried about what's going to happen when I run out of seasons. So, yeah, because I really love the show. I'm totally addicted. But anyway, goodness gracious, are you guys all ready to craft? Yay! We had a lot of questions, a lot of people asking about about doing some stuff with the Pirouette again, and actually questions about using it with the Your Jawsome and Tiki Hut stamps. So obviously the Tiki Hut itself is going to be too large to use with the Pirouette pattern builder stuff, but we're going to be able to use, I was playing with it and I was able to use the sun. There are a couple of stamps there that we can use in that Tiki Hut set, but if anybody is wondering, I'm going to take you through and show you what it is I'm talking about if you haven't seen them. So if Alan will do me the favor of switching the camera. There we go. All right, I'm going to take you guys through. If you haven't seen these, I'm going to show you. If you have seen them, I'm going to do it kind of quickly. So first of all, on HSN, we have the link in the email that went out. If you didn't get the email, then I need you to, if you would, please, let us know. Resubscribe. I'm not sure if you can. We had an issue with it's kind of an ongoing thing trying to get it. We lost a lot of. We moved over from one email service over to another, and we lost a number of people from it, and we have no way of telling who. So you can either resubscribe or you can shoot us an email at customerservice@ldrscreative.com. That way we can add you back in. So anyway, the links are in there. I send that email out. It goes out an hour before we do the show each week on Tuesday and Thursday. So if you're not getting that and you want to, then either subscribe to our newsletter or send me a message if you have already subscribed but you're not getting it. Okay, I think I've said that enough. So let's move on. Anyway, these are on HSN. We had these on HSN, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago. This is one of our pocket pail sets, and they do still have some inventory. I know that they don't have a lot of inventory, but they do still have some. So it's the Your Jawsome with the dies, 27 stamps, 21 dies, and these are called pocket pails. All right, we call them pocket pails for 2 reasons. One, because they're so tiny you can put them in your pocket, but also because they are tiny enough that they will go into the little doors and windows that are going to open on the little pocket pails, houses and things that we have. So this was also included in that kit on HSN. Yeah, Alan's lighting things up behind me. I'm thinking I should have, let me see if I can grab one of these here. Do I have one that, let me see if I can reach one. Ugh, okay, here's one. So here's one of the cards that we have that was done with everything in the kit. So all of this is in the kit. If you didn't get that, all of this is in the kit. Both stamp sets, both coordinating dies. And it's the dies that are in with the house. It's actually this one that's right in the center here that has little windows and doors. When you run that through and cut out the house, that's going to make these little doors and windows open up so that you can fit your pocket pails characters in there. See, actually, can you zoom in on that, Alan? Can you hit camera 3? Yeah, so now you can get a better close-up of how those little doors and windows. And you can fit the little characters in there because they're small enough. They're pocket-sized pocket pails. They'll fit in there. And another really cool thing about it is because of their size, you can fit a lot of them in a scene, which is really cool. So you can create some pretty, I think somebody called it extreme scene building, which I thought was pretty cool. I thought that was really a neat way of putting it. But you can fit a lot of them in there because of their size. Another benefit to these pocket pails is that they're super easy to color up. Very quick to color, again, because of their size and also because of the amount of detail that we have in there. We don't have a tremendous amount of detail. They're very simple line drawings. but it allows you to color them up really, really fast. You can be, you know, either a beginner color, color artist, medium, or an expert, whatever it is you want to be, you know, it doesn't matter. These don't have to be colored up to a real, you know, extreme professional level to make them look real or anything, because they're just so cute. If you color them very simply, it really, I think it really shows them off even better. So I love these. So anyway, this is what we're going to be working with. You can see in this stamp set, there isn't a whole lot that we can work with the pirouettes because the stamps are larger. This one is like one big large stamp, but we are going to use that sun. But I did play with these a lot. I'm not actually going to be using the dies. So the pirouette, if you're wondering what the pirouette set is, let me show you this. Alan, can you go back to camera 2? This is the pirouette set. This is also on HSN. On HSN, we had this on auto ship. The auto ship is no longer available, but the single ship still is. And the great thing is in the single ship, which is the very first shipment, that's what comes with the pattern templates. These templates, there's actually 4 templates in total. Don't worry about the warning. That's just a warning because of the plastic bag. We're required by law to have that there. But you actually get 4 different templates. So 2 of them are front to back, and then the other 2 are transparent and separate. And I'll show you each of those as well. But these templates are going to allow you to create really, really great like circular patterns, like wreaths and spirals and background patterns and so on. And it also comes with the Love and Laughter pirouette. This is a 6x8 stamp set. You're going to get all of these stamps, sentiments, large word. It also comes with dies, which I don't have at my hand right here, but it does have dies with it as well. So the 2 things that we're going to be working with today, though, are going to be these right here. So we're going to combine them because we had a lot of people asking, hey, can I use them together? Oh, Alan gave me the dies. So here's the dies that go, if you were to get the pirouette, Love and Laughter pirouette, you would get all 3 of these pieces here. That's all included. It's actually a lot. There's a lot here. And then let's see. So let me move that off. Those off. These are the 2 things that we're going to be working with. Okay? So let me show you a couple examples of, I was kind of playing with them a little bit. Well, first, actually, let me think. Let me show you, if you're not familiar with it, I want to show you the pattern stencils that come in. Mine's dirty. I have ink and tape and stuff all over mine, but because I use it a lot. This is the first template. This is your Pirouette Master template. On the back side is your bonus template, so that is actually template number 4. And then you will also get, now these 2 are back to back, okay? You can't see through it, but you're also going to get, let me move this over. This is the Pirouette Circles Stamp Alignment Template. This one you're going to use with your master template. It's going to help give you a guide so that you can place your stamps, you know, properly, like in little, you know, rows, so you know where you're placing them. And it's clear so that you can see through it and lay it over the top. And then we also have the Pirouette Spiral Stamp Alignment Template. We had a lot of questions about this one as well. Could we use this? So I'm actually going to be doing some things today where we're going to be using these 2. All right. I don't have any plans to use the background one. We had more questions about the others. If we have some time and you guys want me to do that, then we can tackle that one as well. But I don't know if we're going to have the time. So let me see. I did do a few things here already. I was playing, and I want to see what I want to show you what I was playing with. Alan, you want to go back to camera 3?
You need to refer to me as cameraman.
Cameraman. Okay. So let me show you what I was playing with. I was playing. Well, here's one. This is a little wreath that I was just kind of playing with, and I thought I was combining. I wanted some of the leafy things, leaves and flowers from the Love and Laughter pirouette, and I combined them with Your Jawsome. And this is a little kind of a circular pattern that I created, but I did this actually using the spiral, and I think it turned out really kind of cool. Here's another one that is a little more simple that I was doing with. I played with the spiral, and everything on this one is actually from the Your Jawsome, with the exception of that little flower. I thought that little flower was necessary because it has kind of a, I don't know, kind of a tropical look to it. And then I thought, what if I bring in some characters? And so I was just kind of playing with these guys and bringing in some characters to see what they could do. I brought in these these leaves here, also from the Pirouette Love and Laughter, because I thought that they kind of looked kind of tropical. But I do have in the center, again, this was done with a spiral. In the center, I have these pineapples, and then I just chose two of the characters, and I just kind of rotated them. I didn't color them up yet. I was literally just playing just to see how things were going to fit and how they were going to work. This one, I think, is like a real big burst of color, and I think it turned out really cool. So anyway, this is another thing that I thought I wanted to see if I could do it. It's not really a mirror image, but which my husband pointed out, but I thought this is kind of fun. It's something where I'm literally just rotating it 180 degrees on the template, and we'll talk about that. But I thought this was kind of a fun way to do it. And I thought, you know, maybe it would turn out better if it wasn't characters. Maybe it would turn out better if it were florals, and we could have a pretty, you know, floral arrangement up the top there, and then down at, you know, at the bottom there. But I thought that I just wanted to see how it was going to work. So it's really fun to just kind of play with them. So Alan, if you will do me a favor, please, and go back to 2, because this is kind of big and it has to fit in. Boy, mine is really dirty. I've got adhesive all over mine. Okay, so this is what I created. And this is what we're going to, I'm going to show you how I did this one. This one I did with the circle. So we're going to get started with doing a regular circle, and then once you get the gist of that, then we're gonna of how I did this one, because I was alternating. Then we're gonna go to a spiral. So let's start with this one. Okay, so I make most of mine in the 4 1/4 size. So we do have different sizes here. Oh, Vianney's here. Cool. Alan said Vianney's here. So hello, Vianney. Nice to see you. I don't know what that is. Is that Mrs. Howell? Who was that? Is that Lovey? I don't know where that came from. I just felt like it. I don't know. Sometimes you just got to go with it. Oh boy, I'm all red. I don't normally get embarrassed. I don't know why I did that. That was so funny. Okay, sorry about that. So anyway, with this Pirouette Master template, the really cool thing about it is you don't make just one size. You don't make just 2 sizes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different sizes that you can make your circular patterns. All right. So I tend to go with either a 4-inch or a 4 1/4. And I also tend to use a square. All of these are going to be squares, right? Oh my gosh, it is so dirty. I'm gonna have to clean that later. But anyway, so we go from 2 1/2 to 3, 3 1/2, 4, and 4 1/4. And it's all color coordinated. So every turn you make, so for example, 4 1/4, that's what I have here. I'm gonna put my corner in the 4 1/4, which is the red. So all 4 of my corners, oh boy, that's a tough one. I'm getting corner and quarter mixed up. All 4 of my corners are going to fit in that red, which is 4 1/4. And then every time I turn it, I'm just going to look for the red, okay? If I were using 2 1/2, then I would fit mine into the brown 2 1/2, and every time I turn it, I just have to look for that 2 1/2, all right? So it's beautifully coordinated, color coordinated all around. I also like to put, and this is not a requirement, but I like to put a little bit of adhesive on the back. Let me unsticky it a bit. You know, you can use your magnet, but I find that it's easier if I just put a little bit of adhesive on the back. And that's why mine's such a mess, because I keep getting adhesive everywhere, but oh well, I'll clean it. All right, so I have that in the center. And then my little alignment, this is my Pirouette Circles alignment. Notice we have those red corners right there. We're going to use those red corners, which are the 4 1/4, right? But we're also going to use those to line up these circles template. See how those line up perfectly? It's marvelous. And then I am going to choose, where's my stamps? Now I'm going to start with the sun because I thought it would be fun. Just to have, I wanted the sunshine in it. And I thought that this, there's a sun in both the Love and Laughter set and in this Tiki Hut set, but I like this one because it has a little face on it. And then notice we have these marked off. So, we've got the quarters marked off here, and then we split each of those quarters in half as well. So you can line up right on those perfectly. So I have my little sunshine here. And now here's the thing. I'm going to pay attention to where I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to put it halfway right through that line. Okay, I'm telling you, these templates are awesome. And I can see kind of where my center is. This is showing me if I want to place a sentiment or something in that center, then I want to stay away from this dotted line. Maybe we should zoom in a little bit more. Let's go to 3. Let me see if that's better. I think that's better. Okay. So now you can see this is 1 3/4, and then we actually go to 2 inches, 2 1/4. The measurements are going to bounce back and forth, and it's going to alternate between the green dashes and the black dash line. All right. So I'm going to leave a little bit of room on the inside. So I've pushed my sun up a little bit, and I'm leaving a little bit of space because I do want to put some little bubbles around the center there, but I still want to have some space in the center to put a sentiment. So this is really perfect. This is also going to make sure that I don't go outside my line. I'm not going to go, I don't want to place that sun up too high because I can see if I go up too high, it's going to go over my edge, over the edge of my card, and I don't want that to happen. So it's another really good reason to have this circles alignment template, but it's really going to help me to keep things in alignment as we go. So right now I'm on that second little dashed green line. That's where I've placed my sun at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and pick that up. I'm going to move my template out of the way. And I chose some really fun kind of summery colors, beachy colors. Let's see, which ones do I want here? So the colors that I have are Dandelion, which is a beautiful, beautiful golden yellow, which is so warm for summer. And then Key Lime Pie. Let me line all these up so you can see how pretty they are. This one is Lipstick Jungle. It's a beautiful, woo, pink that goes into red, and look what I just did. And then this one is Bally Blue, which is one of my favorites. So let me clean up here. Oy, oy, oy. I'll tell you, never fails. I made my hand Bally Blue. All right, so aren't those summery? I also have this one, which is Tangerine Dream. I have that one that I'm going to be adding in there too. And I just, when I look at these colors, I just think of the beach. I just think it's really pretty. So I'm going to get these out of the way. The one that I want to work with right now is going to be my Dandelion. Now, push that back into place. I only have that little bit of adhesive on the back of it. So this is my Dandelion. Let me see if I can move this over so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. So let me get that inked up. And I'm going to stamp it. And I might do it a couple of times because I really want it to be quite dark, nice and golden dark. Look how pretty that is. Now, if I want to make a whole circle of this, then I would take this and I would rotate it 1 turn, all right? This is actually divided first, if you look at this, it's divided first in quarters, and then we divide each quarter in half, all right? So there's 8 turns, all right? It's an 8-point star. So I go from here, I turn to the next point, but this is going to put it right here, and I'm going to end up with 8 of these suns all around, and I don't want 8, I only want 4. So I'm going to skip a turn, and then I'm going to ink up again. And I think that this is a really fun technique. You can see the difference in color. I mean, that's a beautiful color, but I really want this golden to pop. This golden yellow, this Dandelion. There we go. I'm going to skip one, and go to the next. So it's actually a quarter turn that I'm doing. Ink up a couple of times. And then I'm going to skip one and go to the next. I think this is probably my favorite technique to use when I'm working with like larger characters, larger stamps, because you need to have space. If I were putting a bunch of these, it would fill in too much if I did this, you know, and if I had one of these every single turn for 8 turns, that would be a lot of suns. And I think it would just be too much, to be honest with you. So I think it works really, really well. So next up, I decided, because I wanted to get some of these characters in. You know, there's so many ways you can play with these. And I mean, I was literally in studio playing with these a lot today. Just kind of seeing what they can do and how they're going to work. So the next thing I did, I thought, I want to get my characters in place. So I chose this really sweet little mermaid, and she's got a little crab. Where's my template? So I need my template, because right now, if I just put her, I don't know where it's going to be lined up. I mean, if I put it here, I'm not going to end up with a nice circular pattern, right? Because that could, I mean, it might look weird. So when I line up, I want to remember, I line up my little red corners there. I want to remember where I place the bottom of my little suns. And I'm going to line up my little mermaid so that the bottom of the mermaid is roughly the same location. The top is going to go just slightly higher because it's a little bit, you know, a little bit bigger, longer than the sun, but that's okay because I'm going to fill in with a couple of other things that are taller. But I want to keep that center area free. So I go ahead and pick that up. Oops. Try not to throw your templates. All right, so next up, I've got my raven. So these are characters that this is a character that I'm actually going to, color in. So I'm just going to stamp her in raven, and I'm going to put her down here. I could put her in all 4 spots, but I didn't want to. So I'm going to completely do a 180 on that and put another mermaid in. If you want to choose a different character there, you can. You don't have to duplicate the character. All right, so now I have her there. And then I'm going to fill in on the sides with another character. And I thought it would be fun to have a couple of these little, what are they called? These little sharks. So this is kind of what I'm thinking, is that they're going to go kind of like that. That was my thinking. I thought it'd be fun to have them in there. And so I'm going to go ahead and line this up. And now the way that I'm doing this, I mean, I could have my sharks go sideways like that so that no matter how I turned this, it would work. But I decided I wanted to have oops, I had the wrong template. I'm such a goofball. Let me move that one out of the way. You're probably thinking, what is she doing? Why has she got that one? All right, there we go. So as I was saying, I could put them on their side like this, okay? And then no matter how I turned my circular pattern, it would work. But I decided I wanted to have an up and a down. I could have put her right side up, but I didn't. And so in doing that and keeping with that, I'm going to put my little shark. So I have one facing in, this guy's facing the other direction, and it just kind of gives me an upside to it, which is kind of nice. And again, I'm going to pay attention to that green stitch line so that I stay within that. And I'm going to pay attention to my line where I've divided my space in half to make sure I'm centering my characters here vertically as best I can. And I'm also paying attention to that dash line on the outside to make sure I don't go outside of that edge. All right. So these templates really are fantastic because they really help you with your alignment. I'm going to go ahead and ink up both of these and get them stamped at the same time. There we go. And I've really over inked a lot. So let me get this all cleaned up before it dries. All right. So then I thought, what can I fill in with? Now, I could fill in, I was really playing with these a lot, and I could fill in, I've got a lot of little characters. I've got bubbles here. I've got little fishies in here, and this cute little crab is, where's the crab? There he is, there's my crab. And then I've got some birds. I have a whole bunch of stuff to fill in with, but I thought, you know, it's kind of, you know, beach, ocean. I wanted to have some florals in here, whether they were, you know, whether it was, you know, indicative of some of the, you know, the green, you know, leafy and floral things that are already in the ocean or whatever. I just thought that it would soften things. And so I did grab the Pirouette Love and Laughter set. And so I decided to pull in, I was playing with a lot of these. I love this flower right here because I think that it has a real beachy kind of a look to it, that one right there. I think that's really pretty. And I didn't want a really big leaf because I'm not working with, it's not really a leafy kind of a wreath. So, so the leaf that I wanted to have was going to be smaller. So I chose to put this one kind of up here, and then this is going to go right in here. So let's go ahead and get our template back into place. And I'm actually going to be stamping both of these at the same time with two different colors. All right. But I've got to figure out how they're going to fit, and I don't want to go outside of my line. So let's put, and you know, here's the thing, it doesn't really bother me too much if I stamp over something. Sorry about my head. I know my head's getting in the camera there, but I'm going to make sure that that I'm positioning these right now, I'm not going outside the line. So I've got that lined up, I think, right at the top. And then the flowers here, I'm going to tuck in so that we're on the inside. I'm going to take that right out to the edge of, there we go. And I'm going to go ahead and pick these up, and we're going to be stamping with two different colors. I think these are far enough apart that I can stamp them at the same time, that I can ink them at the same time. Well, not at the same time, but I can work with them simultaneously. So I've got my lipstick jungle that I'm going to ink up the flowers. And then I've got this key lime pie for the leaf. Oops. Look how cute that is. Now, if I make one turn and then I were to ink it up, you would see I would put the leaves right over the flower. So I don't want to do that. So I'm going to skip one, and then I'm actually making a quarter turn. So we're back to those quarter turns again. But because you are using the template and everything lines up nicely, it's all going to work as we turn this around. Now keep in mind, the characters are a little different. So in some areas they might be a little bit closer than, you know, like over here they're closer to my, to the sharks than they're going to be to the mermaid, and that's fine. So I'm going to skip one here and then go to here. So depending on the size of your images, if I use the same image all throughout, then all the spacing would look perfect. Oops, I think I missed one. Let's go back here. All right, let's see. Yep, there we go. See what happens when I talk and craft. So now I'm going to skip one and go here. Do you have any questions from anybody?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I've asked.
Okay. Sometimes everybody's so quiet. So look how cute that's coming out. I like this a lot. Okay. Now I thought it would be fun to get this beautiful blue in there to kind of represent the color of water. And so then I decided to use the bubbles, because those bubbles are so dang cute. The bubbles that are in, we're going back to our little Jossum set. And where's my template? So I don't know where my center is, right? So now I go back to my template. And I'm going to locate my center. I don't want to go beyond that green line there. So I can put my bubbles, I mean, I can put the bubbles in any direction, but I want to kind of create a little bit of a circle. So I'm going to put my bubbles the long way, like lengthwise. And I'm going to make sure that I'm clearing, I've got enough space. So I have, let me see. I have enough space. The only one I might run into is over here where I have the music, because the musical notes come in there. And that's okay. That's not a big deal. All right, so let's set that aside. And we're going to ink up. And now this time I'm going to make all 8 turns. It's a small enough stamp. I don't need to use my stamping tool. The Stampendable is wonderful. It gives, it allows you to, or helps you to apply even pressure to your stamp image, and it makes it easier on my hands. I mean, I could do it for this. Oops, I forgot to turn it. You know, as my hands get tired, I use it constantly. I mean, I use it even on these little stamps, because it's really, I have arthritis in my hands. You've probably heard me mention that several times. And the Stampendable really helps with that. But right now, this is such a tiny little stamp. It doesn't really take much. There you go. So see how that just kind of trims it out and kind of gives you a little bit of a frame in the center? The colors are so pretty. Did I miss? I think I see when I talk, I lose my place. I'm not paying attention to how many turns I make. There we go. All right. And then to finish this one off, I wanted to have a sentiment on the inside. And I thought having the sentiment in black would be great, because we have the images are done in black. And I thought having a black sentiment would really pop. So we're going to use the Raven. I'm going to line this up, and again, I get to use my template to line this up beautifully in the center. I can see if it's straight because I have all of my little lines. I can see if I've got it centered horizontally. I mean, some of it is, you know, eyeballing it. There we go. But I have a guide at least, which is really nice. And this sentiment says, we mermaid, get it, to be friends forever. It's so sweet. Here's my Raven. There we go, perfectly stamped. Will is asking, will the template work on any stamping platform? Yeah, I mean, anytime. Yeah, I've actually demoed this on HSN with the Crafter's Companion, the one that you push down, and it works beautifully. You just work it differently. You just have to work it like that template, or like that stamping platform does. That one has one that you push, and so you're going to rotate it, and you know, and push it. Actually, with that one, now that I think about it, the Crafter's Companion, you wouldn't rotate the lid, because the lid only rotates 4 times. So what I would do normally you would rotate that lid. I think that's how it's designed. So you would not rotate the lid. You would still rotate your paper around and keep that lid, your top, the lid in the exact same position every time. That's the key to that. So you just have to make a little bit of an adjustment based on what tools you're using. All right, there we go. Isn't that super cute? And then to finish this off, all I did was some really basic coloring. Look how cute. Isn't that just adorable? I did some really basic coloring, and then I would just frame it like that and put it on a card base. Look how adorable that is. And once you color up those characters really simply, I mean, everything just, it just really pops right off the page. It's so sweet. There is room if I wanted to trim that down a little bit, I could. But I think it looks really adorable. So I like it a lot. Yay. So easy to do. They're so much fun. Okay, so let's do a spiral because we had a lot of questions about the spiral. So let me get another card base. Here we go. Or not base, but topper. I'm actually using the exact opposite. Make that a little less sticky. So again, I have a 4 1/4. All right. Now, the cool thing about the spiral is that the spiral allows you to get closer into the center. So if you remember with this one, we were staying away from the center. All right. So we were leaving that center open to stamp a sentiment or something like that. And everything is just going in, you know, around, and it's going very evenly and perfectly. But the spiral allows us to get much closer into the center, and then we can actually create spirals that go out, like you can see in this picture right here. This is a really, really great example right on your template. I think that's really cool. We actually included instructions right on your templates, so that's pretty cool. So, so if you do lose your instructions, if you don't have your instruction sheet for some reason, if you leave home without it and you're going crafting and you have this with you, you still have instruction sheets right here on your templates. Keep that in, or not instruction sheets, but you have instruction images right there on your template to help you out. So Joyce is saying, what's making the cardstock stick? Oh, that's just all I did. I just put a little tape on the back of it. I just use a little bit of adhesive. You know, it's not necessary. If you want to use your magnet, you just use your magnets. But I don't know. For some reason I put tape on it. It's not necessary, but I think it just is easier for me than, that way I can just leave my magnet on my template and not worry about it. So there we go. So all I did was put a little bit of adhesive on the back. So, all right. So for a spiral, let's see, let's just kind of play a bit. I'm going to start, let's see, I'm going to start with these bubbles in the center because they're little. So if you're going to be doing something and you want to come really close to the center, I would suggest using something that's more narrow and smaller. And this one doesn't have, now some of the stamps, like if you had a stamp that had a stem on it, like a leaf, then I would say take it right into the center because, you know, you can see if this is going to start touching and overlapping as you move it around. So the width of your stamp makes a difference here. The tighter you get into the center, the skinnier you want something to be. So I am going to go a little bit off of that center so it's not right in the middle. And I'm going to line up along one of those spirals, and I just have my little bubbles there. So these are the bubbles from the Your Jawsome. And we're going to make those 8 turns. It would help if I removed my template, wouldn't it? There we go. Let's move that template out of the way. I was just testing to see if anybody noticed. So I'm going to make my 8 turns here. So I'm going to line up my corners. And again, you know, if you want to do this for like little tags, just use one of the smaller, you know, you can use like that little 2.5 inch there if you want to do this on a tag. That would be super cute. But look how fun this is. It gets right into that center. I forgot to turn. See what I mean? I get to talking, and then I forget to do what I'm doing. What did we say this reminds us of? Was it like a spirograph or something? Graph? Spirograph. Spirograph?
I think spiral.
Spiro, not spiral.
So it would be a spiral. Spirograph. S-P-I-R-O.
Spirograph. Okay.
One of my favorite toys.
Yeah, raise your hand if you remember the spirograph.
I'll bet 80% of the people.
Look how pretty that is. A beautiful little center. I love that. Now, if you didn't want to leave that center open, you could put something in there. I mean, if I wanted to, I could put like one of these little shells that I have here. I could put that little starfish in there. I could put somebody in the center there. That could be so cute. But I'm not going to for right now. So right now we're gonna focus on trying to make a spiral of some sort. So let's see, and I might add some flour in here too. What are we gonna use next in here? Let's see. I think so. I want to get some length going and get this moving into that direction. So I'm going to go with this pineapple. And I'm going to place that pineapple on one of my little spirals, and I'm going to center it so that that little line is centered in there. I do have another color here. And this color is iced tea, which I think is great for a pineapple. So let's pick up that stamp. And let's get this inked up. Look how cute. I'm going to do this every turn. Hands are getting tired, so there we go. See how it already starts to go out in that kind of spiral direction? Now, I don't know if I'm going to use one of the characters on this because, I don't know, I think the characters, I don't know if I like them as well on, I think I would use one of the characters, maybe not in the spiral, but if I put something over it or added a character somewhere else on the card front. I don't know if I'm going to use it in the actual spiral pattern. We'll see. All right, so there's that one. Isn't it pretty already? I do like to kind of square it up before I move on. So what do we have next? Let's see. You know what? I think from here, I want to get something from this one. And I think, see, this one is really big, but this one, I'm going back to that flower again because, or maybe, all right, let me lay this over so I can see how this is going to be. You know, and you may not always love everything you make. I got to tell you that too. Yeah, I'm going to go back to that same flower, I think, because it just looks very beachy to me. And I am thinking that I might alternate my colors on it. I think that might be really pretty. I don't know. I'm going to go with pink. Let's see. For some reason, I'm hooked on pink flowers. So this one is Lipstick Jungle. Isn't that pretty? Do I want to use the same color, or do I want to put, yeah, well, I'm going to use the same color because they are further apart. I think if they were really close together, then I would probably change the color up. If you wanted to get more color in, you could actually color up that pineapple a little bit with like a Copic marker. You could, like those little leaves in the top there, if you wanted to get some green in there, that could be really cute. So you can see how it's getting that curve to it there. Any questions from anybody? So quiet. No questions. Nothing. Is everybody just being really quiet?
Unless I'm missing them.
All right. Either I've put everybody to sleep or...
Maybe it's like when the whole world goes to sleep for a few minutes.
Did everybody go to sleep? All right, so let's see. What else can we put on there from here? I could add the little bird. I'm reluctant to put a character on this one. I don't know why. I almost wish I had something green on this, something I could do green with this one. Let's see. I don't want to use the crab because he's red. Pineapple, the bubbles. I think I'm going to do this flying, the flying parrot. I think I'll put him on there. But I'm going to kind of turn him a little bit because I think it looks weird if I just go like that. So I want to make it look like he's maybe getting ready to land on those flowers. And then I think that's going to be it. I don't think I'm going to go all the way to the edge with this one. But what color am I going to use here for this bird? I think I'm going to go back to, that blue.
Green leaf, green turtle.
Hmm?
Getting comments, green leaf or green turtle?
I don't have a turtle in here though.
Oh, that's right. We don't have a sea turtle.
I know, we need a turtle. We've determined that. You know what I could do is put something green from here.
Leaf?
What if I use that one? Because that one's kind of light and airy. Let me see how that's going to work. Because it doesn't it? You know, I think it does feel like it needs some green. And then I could put the bird on it. Let's see.
People are saying they need a turtle. Don't we have a turtle coming or something? Can we have a turtle in another set?
Hush.
Okay.
You're not supposed to be giving secrets away,
You were supposed to
Misto.
give away some sort of kid secret or something tonight, weren't you? People are,
Oh, my goodness. Are people asking about the kit?
I think they're angry. I think the crowd is getting angry.
The crowd's getting angry?
I think so.
Yeah, if you're wondering where our next kit is, I'm literally just waiting for the cardstock. Our March kit has become an April kit, and it's due to shipping issues, as is everything else. But yeah, it's almost ready. So I think possibly by this time next week, we will be unveiling the next kit, the bi-monthly kit. And I think you're going to like it because I really like it. I'm really excited about it. I'm starting to lose my voice, I'm realizing. Are you noticing that, Alan?
No.
I lost my voice last night and I'm losing my voice again. I think that green is really pretty. I think that that really lends a nice color. It's really nice. So whoever suggested a green leaf, I think that was a great idea.
So the new kit, are you going to put it up for pre-sale? We talked about that.
The new kit is not going to have to go up for pre-sale because I'm literally waiting on one piece to arrive. It should get here anytime. It's already shipped. It's on its way here. And as soon as I have it, we will have everything. So it's not going to have to be up for pre-sale. So I think...
I'm thinking about the people who want to buy at the beginning or end of the month. That's all.
Oh, well, what is the date next?
Well,
What is the date on
30th.
Tuesday?
On Tuesday it'll be like the 6th maybe? No, 5th.
It'll be the 5th. That's probably when it's going to go. It'll probably go up on the 5th.
Okay, good. I think that's good time as long as people know.
Okay. Yeah, I think it'll probably go up on the 5th. All right, then I'm going to add this bird here. I think maybe so that it looks like the bird is landing on. Do I want the bird?
6th.
Everybody, what do you think? Do I want the bird? Anybody have any suggestions? Do I want the bird? I don't know. We're just going to have to see. This is part of it. It's just checking to see. I'm not going to do it in black. I'm going to do it in blue. So I'm not going to actually color it in.
It's going to take at least 30 seconds to get.
No, well, I'm just... I've got to...
One yes.
Yeah, I think the bird will be pretty.
3,
You got yeses?
4,
Okay.
5,
Then we're going to do it.
6, 7.
A whole bunch of guesses.
Bird is the word in blue.
Bird is the word. I like it. All right, here we go.
What color is it?
It's blue. Look how pretty. I like it.
All right.
So the whole point to working with these is to really show up, to doing this tonight, is to really show you how you can use your pocket pails with the pirouettes. Because the pocket pails are smaller and, you know, they're small enough to fit in your pocket, then they're going to be small enough to use with your pirouette. Now, if you want to color these little birds in, you can. You don't have to. There we go. I'm going to ask a question. Does anybody want to spend an extra 10 minutes with me? Do you want to see me color up those little characters that were on the other one that I just did? On this one. Not that one. Yeah, this one.
Do I get a vote?
No, you don't get a vote. Let's see what people say. Because I know some people like to see the coloring. So,
No, everybody's saying no.
Everybody's saying no?
Yep, they're all saying no. They're all saying no, absolutely.
Alan, are you telling me a fib?
We're just getting a bunch of no's.
Look how cute that is. I think that turned out really nice. So this is the spiral. This is the whole reason for the spiral. So that you can make really fun, beautiful shapes just like this one. You can get your designs right into the center there. This would be beautiful. I mean, this is not necessarily the right blue, but I mean, look how pretty that is. I would probably trim it down just a little bit. If you wanted to color in your birds, you could do so. But I think that's really pretty. I would color coordinate a sentiment. You could put a sentiment in, you know, like across the center, or put a sentiment down here on your card if you did a longer, you know, A2 card. So Alan, tell me the truth. Does anybody want me to start coloring that up?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So I want to show, the reason I suggested it is because I want to show you how quick and easy it is to color. Because it really is easy. Really fast. And I have a handful, literally a handful of Copics here. So, you know, you can color these with, you know, I did stamp this on my Neenah Classic Crest Solar White. You can stamp this on, or color it with any alcohol markers you want. If you want to use watercolors, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to show you each of the colors as I use them. I'm not doing a ton of shading. So for skin, I've got E21. I'm going to go in and give this little mermaid girl E21. I'm not doing a ton of shading on her skin. I'm literally just giving it a one coat. And that's all there is to giving her a skin color. Because they're so small, you really don't have room for a lot of shading. There you go. That's her skin, E21. I'm going to go to her hair. I chose to work with Y21. I thought she'd be kind of pretty to have blonde hair, or yellow, actually. I mean, it's kind of cartoony, right? You know, and for her skin, I used Y21. You can use whatever color you want. You can, you know, fair skin to darker skin, whatever it is you want to do. Same thing with her hair. If you want her to be blonde hair, gray hair, blue haired, pink haired, dark haired, whatever you want. I left a tiny little bit of her hair there. All right. Are we zoomed in? This, yeah, we're on 3, right? Okay. I've got R30 here to get this little sand dollar, as well as the first color, first coat for that little crab. And then I'm going to get it on the bottom of that board there too. So that's R30. R32, I'm just going to get the tips of that sand dollar just to make that pop. See what that does? And then I'm going to get kind of the edge, the sides of my little crab, kind of those corners a bit. Now the crab I don't necessarily want to be pink. I want him to be red. So I'm going to go up one more color to R35 and just give him a little more red in those corners. And then I'm going to go back down to my R30 to just kind of blend that out a little bit. I didn't put that dark red right in the center over his face. So I left his face kind of pinky. But out on the outer edges, it's red so that you can, you know he's red, right? I actually think I want to take him up one color to R32, right in the center there. A little bit more, just to darken him up a little bit. There we go. And then I chose some pretty blues here. This is a B000. This is going to be for our little mermaid tail. And also for her little bikini top. And then B01, I'm going to bring in a little bit of color. I am going to leave a tiny little bit at just B000. Is that 000 or quadruple? It was quadruple. And then her little bikini top, just touch down a little bit of color. Don't forget underneath her there. I'm going to turn this over because I'm going to make sure I do this right. I'm going to leave a little bit lighter. Notice I'm not coming in over that tiny little bit right there. It's just going to kind of be a highlight. And then where is it? Oh, I know what it was. My B01, I'm coming in again over the top just to brighten up the tips there. That's what I actually use as my brighter color shadow. I just do less of it. I could have gone up in a color, but I didn't want to pull too many markers. All right, so that's all there is to that. Set those aside. Next, we're going to go over to our two little sharks. And I'm going to grab, first of all, I'm going to work on his little ukulele, and this is E50. Cover it with E50. And then I've got E31. I'm going to come in, leave a little bit of that center lighter. And that's all there is to that. Really easy coloring. Now I've got my C's, which is a cool gray. So I have a C00. And I'm going to bring in some of this C00 kind of around the perimeter of this little shark here. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one here. Just some light strokes, kind of leaving the center kind of a little white. But I'm starting with a C00. You may not even be able to see that very much, but that just kind of gives me an idea of where I want to place the color, kind of mapping it out, so to speak, but without going too dark. All right. So that's E00. I keep saying E. It's C00. Then I go to C1. I'm using a cool gray because I'm working on a shark, and I kind of want to have a cool gray is going to have a blue base to it. Right, so now I'm going to come in with a little more color kind of around the cheeks there and in some of those shadowy areas. Around the tips of the fins there, leaving some of that center lighter. And I'm going to do some flicks here on the underside of his little nose and the underside of his belly. Under the arm a bit, on the back, and at the base of the fin. I am going to take a little bit of an R30 and give this guy some little pinky cheeks here. And then this guy, I'm going to give a tiny little bit of a pink cheek as well. And then my darker gray I'm going to use sparingly. This is a C3. All right, very sparingly. Just to accentuate some of those shadowy areas. Just to kind of make some of that pop a little bit. As you can see, I'm barely touching down with the tip of my marker. All right, so it just kind of makes it stand out just a little bit more, some of those areas. And then last, we need to tackle his surfboard. So Y21 is going to go right up the center. I like to use the same colors all throughout, if you notice. It really brings the image together. I've already got R30 on the little part of the fin down here. So now I'm going to go with an R32, and I want to leave that pink. I'm not going to take that into a red. And then I'm going to use the same blues, B00, and I'm going to color in the rest of the surfboard with B00. You guys may not even be able to see that because it's so light. But then I'm going to go up to B00 and just get a little bit of blue. I go from the bottom, push up, and then from the top and pull down, leaving that center area a little bit lighter and brighter. And then to B01, just a couple of areas where it's going to be a little bit darker blue. And that is really all there is to it. So that's how long it takes to color these guys. They're so incredibly easy to do. Love it. All right.
So was that the extent of your announcement for your next?
Switch to camera 1.
Okay. I didn't know.
The extent of the announcement for what? For the kit?
Yeah. Is that coming next week or something?
Yeah, the card kit, I think we're going to be able to put that out. I'm going to be able to show you that on Tuesday, I'm pretty certain. It was supposed to be the March kit. It is going to be the April kit because of shipping issues. And I didn't want to do what we did last time where we put it out there and then it took 3 weeks to even ship it. So I decided to delay the release so that when you guys ordered it, we could ship it right away. So there'd be no waiting for it. So right now we are literally waiting. I'm literally waiting for the coordinating cardstock to arrive. So yes, there's going to be cardstock. And yes, there's going to be some pattern papers in there. And yes, you're going to get 2 of each of the pattern papers, so that you'll have more to work with. Yay. So that'll be fun. Yay! But yeah, we are getting going on, making some samples and things like that to show you guys on Tuesday. So yeah, I should be announcing that and showing you that on Tuesday. It should be in the store on Tuesday, and I'm not going to tell you any more about it. That's it. I'm going to keep it a complete surprise, complete secret and surprise for you guys. So anyway, gosh, I think, you know what are we going to do for a giveaway today? Because I can't give these sets away because they're on HSN and I don't have any. What can we give away? You know what we can give away? How about we give away a Raven hybrid ink to somebody who maybe doesn't have any of the hybrid inks and wants to give it a try. How about we do, let's do, I have an idea. We're not just going to do one hybrid ink. Let's do some of these summer colors.
Do you have
Okay. We're actually going to do colors instead. So we're going to do the colors that I used in this card. So the colors are going to be that we're going to give away for the hybrid inks. It's going to be Dandelion yellow, and these are going to be the full size. Dandelion yellow, Key Lime Pie, Bally Blue, and Lipstick Jungle. So we're going to give away all 4 of those, the same colors that we used in this card. Yay. So I need a name.
Okay, I'm counting.
Alrighty. Kathy Thompson, you are the winner. You get the 4 hybrid inks. Yay! Congratulations, Kathy. All we need from you is an email to our customer service at ldrscreative.com. I need your complete mailing address, and we will get your 4 hybrid inks out to you. I would hold them all up. Well, let me try. I just don't want them to land on me. So here they are. Here's your 4 colors. So congratulations, Kathy. Send us that email. Again, customer service at ldrscreative.com. So everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Sorry we went over, but you asked for it and you got it. So, well, you didn't ask for it. You said it would be okay. What?
You're blaming it on them.
Yeah, I'm blaming it on you. All right. So anyway, we will be back here on Thursday, same time, same place, 7 p.m. Eastern. I have no idea what I'm going to be doing, what I'm going to be working with, but hopefully it will be fun. All right, so everybody, thank you so much for joining me. I had fun. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a great evening, and we will see you in not 1, but 2 days. All right, bye, everybody.